Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be reviewing the Transformers Earthrise Deluxe Class Cliffjumper. Now, those who are familiar with this figure, you may notice some difference regarding the windshields, but before we get into that, let's take a good look at the figure himself. He's looking pretty good. Spinning him around, that's how he looks from the back. Very alright. Now let's get a close up on the head. You can see that the head has been nicely sculpted, very nicely. Definitely looks like Cliffjumper, definitely reads as Cliffjumper. The face has been nicely done. Looks alright. And looking at his design, you do get his windshield chest, although compared to his G1 cartoon model, this chest plate is not really accurate compared to that model, compared to the G1 model. As a matter of fact, this version of Cliffjumper is honestly pretty far off. It's honestly not really that accurate compared to the G1 model. For example, his arms. See these chunks of red? On the animation model, those chunks were black and gray. Like, his animation model didn't have any red on his arms. And looking at his arms, it does sort of feel off to me. I feel like it just adds a little bit too much red, you know? And the cab and the windshield chest, it's like pretty different compared to the animation model, because the original animation model had it so that the cab section was would fold up so that the fin part, so that this part would be like up here, and then the front windshield would be down there at the abdomen. Well, for this one, we have the windshield up here, and this part and the stabilizer piece just like chilling out in the back, you know? But you would also notice that his windshield is black. That part is black. This part is actually molded in blue, in translucent blue, so that those windshields can have a transparent look, and then painted over in red. I ended up just writing Sharpie on here because I did this to make the vehicle mode look a bit better. And it honestly kind of improves the robot mode a little bit too, in my opinion. But anyway, moving down to the legs, do get some kind of bland looking legs, but you do get a little bit of details here and there. Do get these big stompers. I do like that. got big chunky feet. Got big chunky feet, so that he has no real issues standing. Like, you can just plant him on the ground and he's good to go. He ain't toppling over. Really good. Very nice. Do get the wheels up here. His design, while really cool, it's not really that accurate to the animation model, but it's not that bad. Still looks good nonetheless. Boom. Now let's get on to our articulation, shall we? The head is on a ball joint. It can look up, not very far, and can look down, like, not at all. And it can swivel and tilt a little bit side to side, but if you pull up his head a little bit, like so, if you untab this neck thing, which is absolutely insane, then he gets much more range in his head. Like, he can look down that far now too. This is literally something that was like this is literally something that, like, no one even knew of for like a while. It's honestly really cool. It gives him an extra little bit of articulation. Very nice. Come on. Don't blur out on me, please. Come on. Let's continue with the articulation. The shoulders are on a universal joint. You get a swivel, 360 unlimited movement, get past over 90 on the outward movement. You get a bicep rotation. You get a 90-degree at the elbow, as well as a 90-degree backwards elbow. It's absolutely crazy. And of course, he has waist swivels, so he can rotate his hands. His torso, he does have a waist swivel, but due to transformation, he also has a bit of an arcing back too. Has this hinge that allows him to do this. Oh yeah, and I forgot. I also added Sharpie to the abdomen here. This was red. But anyway, there's the hips on universal joints. They can kick out to that far. They can kick back about that far. If you remove this, you can kick it back even further. In case you're wondering, that's how he looks without his back kibble. Let's just move that out of the way. Oh yeah, and this is on like a hinge joint. He does have hip rotation. It's not. It can't really do 360. It is limited, but whatever. But it does look good. It does make it look filled out, so I'm not mad at it. He gets 90-degree at the knee, and a really insane ankle pivot. Posability on this guy is pretty insane for his size. Look at that. Oop. Very, very nice in terms of articulation. Now, oh, I think I forgot to have blast effect accessories on hand. Oh well, they're not included anyway, so I was about to show you that cliffjumper does have 3mm posts on his shoulder here, on his forearm right here, and on his thigh right here. Those ports are all blast effect compatible, so if you want, you can absolutely gun him down. You can gun him down. You can give him a blast in the shoulder, blast in the arm, blast in the thigh. I believe a lot of the War for Cybertron trilogy figures had a lot of these sort of blast effect compatible spots. So that's neat. Oh, and he also has 5mm ports in the bottom of his feet, as most modern Transformers do. Very neat. For accessories, he comes with a few. First of all, I guess you can call this an accessory. It's really just a piece of his vehicle mode, but it has a hinge joint right here, and you can plug it to his back onto that 5mm post, or you could attach it to his forearm and have it form some sort of no. They advertise this as a shield. I just see it as a third of his car mode that they didn't even bother to engineer into the transformation. It's great. It's weird. And a lot of people, and from what I've heard, a lot of people are kind of upset about this, saying that they don't even the shield thing, that they want it to be part of the transformation, not parts for me. I honestly don't care. I mean, I definitely don't use it as a shield. I always just plug onto his back like that. Just as simple as that. Oh yeah, and he has a plug. He has a 3mm hole that you can use to attach a Figma stand or some other 3mm stands, and you can have him do a Mario jump. But no, a lot of people were kind of, this is really it's really a deal breaker for a lot of people because of the part forming aspect. But we'll get to that later. Right now, let's talk about this. What this is if you've watched the first episode of the Transformers G1 cartoon, you would know that this is the weapon Cliffjumper used to like aim at Megatron and ended up missing somehow. People know it as this gun, the gun that was first fired. The gun that it's really a launcher, but it's it's neat. It only ever showed it only ever showed up in that one episode, but it is neat. It even has the little like stand thing, so when you lie him down, it can lie down. It has the stands. Very neat. Very neat. The silver on this launcher is nice. Do you like that? However, you can do more with this because you can take all these off. You can disassemble it like so. So that's really neat. So what would you do with all this stuff? Well, these you can just put in his hands as like dual wielding cannon pistols. Can take this tab, plug it into that slot or something, and it's honestly just a place that you can put this when you're using it for dual wielding purposes. And I guess you can plug each of these into the slots and have them look as if they're magazines. Yeah, really cool stuff. There's a good bit you can do with these weapons. You can do, and there's even I do like that. Very nice. Boop. Has a pretty big, has a decent amount of accessories. Now let's move on to size comparisons, shall we? So here is the earthrise Cliffjumper next to my custom Centimus Prime. That's how it compares next to him. Here he is next to the Studio Series 86 Starscream, or just the Earthrise Starscream. It's just the Earthrise Starscream, but more specifically, this the 86 one, the Studio Series one. And here he is next to the buddy that he was out. Yeah, here he is next to Hound, the guy he was driving out with when he fired off the launcher. Now you can see, compared to a deluxe, he is pretty small. Pretty small. Like here, and for one more, here he is next to the Studio Series Autobot Spike 86 one. The 86 Autobot Spike. And with that out of the way, let's get transforming. Now, taking this off, you can see that I've also added a little bit of red onto the taillights to make them appear a little more. but not bad. First thing you do, bend his elbows backwards. Plug this neck back, push his neck back in. If you pushed it out, pulled it out. Flip this panel down. Flip this hood panel up. Fold this back in. Flip these out. Hinge this part. Swivel his waist 180. And then use that hinge like so. Then rotate his arms like so. Like this. Then just flip them back like so, and we'll connect them later. First, let's open these panels. Then rotate his feet like this on that hinge. Utilize the arm joints and flip up and then fold in the wheels. Now you plug those in, tap those in. You tap those in. Make sure that the arms are lined up. Make sure that everything's lined up so you can tap it in. There are going to be tabs and stuff. These panels are going to tab to the thighs and to these panels back here. These parts of the panels are going to squeeze together. Then you can tap them into the hood piece. And then finally, lastly, you take this, fold that tab in, and then you utilize these 5mm posts and plug them into the hands while pushing it in and lining it up. Boom. And then after that, you're done. And here we have Cliffjumper in his car mode. It's a pretty simple transformation. And again, people are often people don't really like the fact that he's a part former. And there is a upgrade kit piece that you can attach to him to make it so it doesn't do parts forming. I'd honestly don't recommend using that part. Not only because it costs half as much as the figure itself, which is it's crazy. But if you do end up attaching that to here, it ends up making the transformation a lot more cluttered than it already is, and I figured it would make the transformation a little more frustrating, I think. But anyway, looking at his car mode looks really good. I honestly do. It's not the squished up it's not that squished up rounded vehicle that he was in the show. This seems like a slightly more realistic take on that vehicle, and I honestly do like that. Looks really nice. You can see the reason why I ended up writing Sharpie over the windshields. I did it like this so it would match up with this windshield back here. And I honestly think it looks really good because without this, these front windshields would be clear blue and you would see the inside, which is just black, which is just almost nothing. Then you would have this, which would make it look a bit off, in my opinion. I honestly do like this. Now looking at the front, you do get this nicely depicted Autobot logo. You do see that his Autobot logo has a more, come on, focus. You do see that has like a more angry look, which means it's using like the it's using like the live action, the more live action take on it. Up on the front, come on, up on the front, do you see that there's not silver and black details picked out in black and silver? The wheels look really nice, and I will say it does roll very nicely. And here is his vehicle mode from the back. You do get to see his hands, but you also get to see these nice exhaust panels, the bumper, and thanks to me writing red Sharpie, you also get to see the taillights picked out, kinda. It is a small vehicle, but I do really like it. You even get like details of the door picked out. And if we bring back in the accessories and flip this out, what we're going to do is we're going to plug this post into this hole and these small posts into the small holes right on these posts. So we just do that, plug that in. We take these, we see these slots in the handles, we plug them onto these tabs right here. So boom and boom. And then we take these, and you can see that these are mirrored. So we take these tabs, and then we tap them into these slots. Make sure you have the side with the tab facing in towards the car, like that. Then after you do that, here we have Cliffjumper as Cliffjumper in his car mode skiing on water. This is meant to replicate a scene, to recreate a scene from a G1 episode called Dinobot Island, which is really cool. It gives you more options in the accessories. Let's take all that off so we can move on to the size comparison. For size comparison, here he is next to Starscream. Why not? He is very large compared to Starscream. Here he is next to a fellow mini-bot, Brawn, DC Series 86 Brawn. See that he's a little bit longer, but he's nowhere near as tall or wide. He's a little guy, even compared to Brawn. And just because here he is next to Laserbeak. This is the one that came with the Netflix sound wave. So here he is next to Laserbeak. And overall, I do really like this figure, despite his flaws. Now, actually, here's the thing. I actually do recommend this figure, but get the Buzzworthy Bumblebee one. That one does have a overall better paint job. Does fix a lot of issues I had with the color scheme wise, and I believe you can get better deals on it online. So, and that'll be it. If you enjoyed this review, please consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.